Hey everybody, number 33, Nanook of the North, directed by Robert Flaherty from the United States in 1922. This is our first movie from the 20s. It is also our first silent film, and I'm going to say this because I haven't researched it. It purports itself to be the first feature-length anthropological documentary, which I believe. What it is I'm torn between the setup or the description. You know what? I'm going to do the setup. So apparently, because he describes in the beginning of the movie, it starts with walls of text describing the process of him making this movie, because it is a silent film. I mean, they add music, but there's no. It's not a talkie. Robert Flaherty was with somebody in the Arctic. It was not Alaska, but it was part of Canada, basically as far north as you can go from New York without hopping on a boat. It is a corner of the world where native people lived. Either First Nations or Inuit, I believe, are the correct terms. In the movie, they are referred to as Eskimos, but I believe that term is not an appreciated term anymore. I'm going to stick with Inuit and hope that I'm using the correct term, and if I'm not, I deeply apologize. I'm trying, and that should count. So it's a portion of the world that was basically barren, snow, some animals, and Inuit population. And while he was there, he took some footage of the quote unquote natives, right? And he tried to turn it into a movie, only it was his first attempt and it didn't turn out very well. It turned out real bad. So he went back and tried again, and this time, instead of focusing on like their life, he focused on a single family. Nanook, of the title, is the father of a family. And he focuses on their exploits and showed them the footage. First of all, it's a short movie. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. The bulk of the movie is just following them for like a day or two of their life. I watched the movie with my mother. My mother does not want to show up on camera, but I did ask her thoughts about it the next day. And my mother loves true stories, things that are real. She's not a big fan of science fiction and fantasy. And she said it was very interesting because it's things she had never seen before. And that is true. Based on the movie, it seems like a good chunk of their life was just spending all day finding food and shelter to make it to the next day where they could then search for food and shelter. It shows them hunting walrus. It shows them hunting seal. They catch a fox at one point. They're eating meat raw. You get to see the kids playing. You get to see Nanook do some fishing. It's all very interesting. And again, in an hour and 20 minutes, it goes by real fast. What always blows my mind in these documentaries is the purpose of the camera is to be invisible, right? The camera is just meant to be the window through which we see this. Typically in a documentary, especially of this nature, they don't, you don't see the crew, you don't see the director. And it's amazing because they are in these harsh environments, right, where survival is difficult. Even the filmmaker points out Nanook dies 2 years after the filming of this because he starved to death. He went in for hunting and wasn't able to find anything and starved to death. And it's said, or it's written just kind of as a, hey, this is life. This happened. So it's a rough life that they're documenting. And the people making the movie have to follow along in these same rough conditions and hauling around camera equipment, right? Think about that when you watch like a documentary of people climbing Everest. You're watching people struggling through harsh conditions, and you're only seeing it because somebody else is struggling through those exact same harsh conditions while dealing with camera equipment. It's amazing. So the cinematography of this is not top notch, but it doesn't need to be. Like, there's no I can't sit here and talk about how practiced and able the director was, because it was his second attempt to make a film. Right? And that's not the point. As a documentary, all he's trying to do is capture the moments, and it's pretty impressive, because you're capturing life on the edge of civilization 100 years ago, and we have it on film, and they have fun, they have troubles. It's really impressive for what it is. Would I recommend it? If the idea of a silent film, black and white documentary is like, ugh, no, no thank you, then no, this is not for you. If that's something you might find interesting, I do recommend this. Because, like my mother said, it's something she'd never seen before. It's real life captured from 100 years ago at the edge of civilization. It's pretty cool, I think. Anyway, next is our first. Is it our first? Checking. Yes, it is our first film from the Soviet Union from 1966, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky. And again, I am so terrible at pronouncing foreign things, which is just going to keep coming back in this project. The film is called Andrei Rublev. I know nothing about it, but the next time we speak, I'll know so much about it. Anyway, thank you guys so much, as always, for being a part of this project. You're the reason I'm making these videos. I mean, I'd watch the movies without you, but I don't know that I'd make the videos if nobody was watching them. So, I'll see you guys next time.